And I'd like to welcome our audience to the High School District Quiz Bowl. We're going to be having two teams compete in this match, the Port Huron team and the team from Algonac High School. I'm Scott Gregg, your moderator. With me is Judy Allen, who will be our judge for this match, and Gordon Jameson, who will be keeping our score. Of course, just tell you that the toss-up questions that we throw out, either team can answer worth 5 or 15 points in the toss-up questions, or the bonus questions that they get once they get that toss-up question right is 10 points. If they answer the question incorrectly, they lose 5 points. So we'll start with the first question, a toss-up question for both teams. A hot, dry, easterly wind called the Santa Ana is associated with what state? Algonac.
New Mexico.
That's incorrect. Port Huron.
Texas.
That's incorrect as well. California was the answer we're looking for. California, that's where the Santa Ana Mountains are. All right, toss-up question for both teams. Ed Meese was criticized for his interest in the WedTech Corporation. One of his friends, the chief executive of that corporation, was Port Huron.
Keating.
Sorry?
That's Keating.
Incorrect. Robert Wallach was the correct answer on that. Okay, toss-up question for both teams. Newspaper editors claim a right, this is a multiple choice question. Newspaper editors claim a right to print classified information leaked by government workers under A, the preamble of the Constitution, B, the General Welfare Clause, C, the Implied Powers Clause, or D, the First Amendment. Port Huron.
D, the First Amendment.
That's correct. Okay, bonus question for Port Huron. Materials such as zinc and bismuth that are freely repelled by a strong magnet are classified as, this is multiple choice, A, paramagnetic, B, diamagnetic, C, ferromagnetic.
Ferromagnetic.
That's incorrect. Diamagnetic. Diamagnetic is the correct answer. Toss-up question for both teams. Which of these is an ordinal numeral? Multiple choice. A, 7250. B, 2 4/5. C, 30 degrees Fahrenheit. D, 41st. E, 14/9. Port Huron.
41st.
41st is the correct answer, and you'll pick up the bonus question for 10 points, Port Huron. The egg-producing structure of an animal is called the what?
Ovary.
Ovary.
Ovary is correct. Okay, toss-up question for both teams, and this is a multiple choice question again. The most abundant type of minerals in the Earth's crust are the A, halides, H-A-L-I-D-E-S, B, siccalates, C, carbonates, D, phosphates, E, sulfates. Algonac.
B, silicates.
That's correct, silicates. Okay. Bonus question for Algonac. 6 liters of hydrogen react with sufficient chlorine to produce how many liters of hydrogen chloride?
6 liters.
Incorrect. 12 is the correct answer. Okay, so you don't get the 10 points for the bonus question. This is a multiple choice toss-up question for both teams. In which of these cases does Congress legislate under implied powers? A, immigration, B, naturalization, C, bankruptcies, D, counterfeiting, E, copyright infringements. Port Huron.
Copyright infringements.
That's incorrect. Immigration was the term we were looking for, so you lose 5 points. And a toss-up question for both teams, multiple choice again. The antonym of categorical is A, ambiguous, B, irresponsible, C, dog-like, D, reticent, or E, indexed. Port Huron.
Ambiguous.
Ambiguous is the correct answer. And you'll get the 10-point bonus question. Port Huron, what early U.S. diplomat served as governor of South Carolina, signed the U.S. Constitution, convinced the Spanish to renounce claims to the Louisiana Territory? Captain, your answer, please.
Benjamin Franklin.
Nope, Charles Pinckney was the...
Timeout, sir. Timeout.
Okay, timeout for both teams, and we'll be back in just a minute.
By the way, who's screwed that shirt up.
Oh yeah, I know. I can never find the printers to print it the right way. Where'd you get yours done at?
Right here at the trading post.
Oh, they do shirts at the trading post?
Yeah, I want to go check it out.
Oh, they have a lot of stuff in here. Clothing, food.
Can I help you?
Yeah, could I have a black t-shirt with red and white shadowed letters, the word wiener written on the back of it, and a number 9? Make it large.
Sure. Hi, can I help you?
Yes, I ordered a black t-shirt with red and white shadowed letters, the name wiener on the back of it.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, that'll be $10, please.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Come shop at the Trading Post located in the Courtyard High School cafeteria. Open from 7:30 to 2, Monday through Friday. Our clothes and novelties make great Christmas gifts. Come shop at the Trading Post.
I got a question for you. If they
Sure.
answer a question and it's wrong, we get a chance to answer it.
That's correct, but not if it's a bonus question.
Well,
Yes,
they
on
have
several
somewhat-
occasions on a toss-up, you have denied us a chance to answer.
Okay. Okay, strictly Algonac, then we'll give you another opportunity to toss-up question for Algonac.
Thank you, sir.
All right, that's okay. If you see something like that, call it to my attention right away. He said, quote, "I propose getting rid of conventional armaments and replacing them with reasonably priced hydrogen bombs that could be distributed equally throughout the world. Name this former dictator of Uganda." Okay, Algonac?
Idi Amin.
That's correct. Okay, so you'll pick up the bonus question. For 10 points, Algonac, what name is given in Buddhist tradition for the cumulative results of a person's deeds during life that control his destiny in the next?
Karma.
Karma is correct. All right, the toss-up question for both teams. What is the name for the process of gradually cooling hot glass in order to reduce its brittleness? I'll call time on that. Correct answer is annealing. Toss-up question for both teams. What country lies immediately northwest of the country whose capital is Bangkok? Algonac.
Burma.
Burma is correct. Okay, the bonus question for 10 points for Algonac. Who uttered the original maximum parodied in this line by Pamela Fiore? "You are what you eat." Captain, your answer.
No answer.
Friedrich Nietzsche is the correct answer. All right, toss-up question for both teams. Whose resignations in 1973 following tax evasion and bribery charges? Port Huron.
Spiro Agnew.
Spiro Agnew is correct. Okay, the bonus question for 10 points for Port Huron, the executive branch. Which executive department is responsible to protect and develop the natural resources of the country for the benefit of all people? Captain?
Department of the Interior.
That's correct. Okay, you pick up the 10 points. Toss-up question for both teams then. From its prefix, one can surmise that photophobia, and I'll spell this one, PHOTOPHOBIA, is a defect relating to one's inability to tolerate normal levels
Of
Port Huron.
of sunlight.
That's correct, of light. All right, the bonus question for Port Huron. A myocardial infarct occurs in what organ?
The heart.
That's correct, the heart. Okay, toss-up question for both teams. Geologists speculate that what continent will eventually split among its Great Rift Valley? Algonac.
North America.
Incorrect. Port Huron.
Africa.
Africa is correct, and you'll pick up the bonus question for 10 points, Port Huron. According to Homer, this city on the northeast portion of the plain of Argus was the home of Agamemnon, leader of the Greek heroes of Troy. Name this city.
Sparta.
Incorrect. Mycenae. Hope that's the correct pronunciation of it. Toss-up question for both teams. What laser technique can produce three-dimensional lensless Port Huron?
Hologramming or holograms.
That's correct. Okay, you'll pick up the bonus question for 10 points, Port Huron. This cutoff from the Oregon Trail extended from the Great Salt Lake area to California. Name this trail. Captain, your answer.
California Trail.
California Trail is correct. All right, toss-up question for both teams. Andre the Giant broke his arm while executing an imperfect flying suplex. Therefore, he broke at least one of which three bones? Algonac.
The humerus, the radius, or the ulna?
All three correct. Great. All three correct. You only get the 15 points, though, but you will pick up the bonus question. For Algonac, what is the westernmost state that borders on any of the Great Lakes?
Minnesota.
Minnesota is correct. Toss-up question for both teams. What legal term may refer to all of the following? Documents such as deeds and contracts, objects such as an axe or pistol, data from scientific tests, oral statements of what? Algonac.
Evidence.
Evidence is correct. For 10 points, the bonus question, Algonac, you feed in four into a linear function machine and out comes 6. You feed in 0 and out comes -2. You feed in 7 and out comes 12. What number comes out if you feed in 10? Captain?
5.
Incorrect. 18 is the answer they were looking for. Toss-up question for both teams. How are the words daughter of attention used in this passage? Memory, the daughter of attention, is the teeming mother of knowledge. Port Huron.
The subject.
Incorrect. Algonac.
A positive.
Judge? We'll take that. Okay, bonus question for 10 points for Algonac. Who created a lusty, buffoonish character named Fyodor, and that's Fyodor, Pavlovich Karamazov?
Pasternak.
That's incorrect. Gee, I don't even want to try and pronounce this guy's name. Russian names are not my forte. Dostoevsky, I think. Dostoyevsky. Good stab at it. Toss-up question for both teams. In what year was this story printed? The crucial Allied cross-channel landing involved more than 5,000 vessels in Port Huron.
1944.
1944 is correct. And for 10 points, the bonus question, Port Huron. All of the following are typical inhabitants of which terrestrial biome, B-I-O-M-E? Wapiti, porcupines, grizzly and black bears, and wolves.
Okay.
Captain, your answer.
Temperate forest.
Could you repeat that?
Temperate forest. Temperate
No,
deciduous
that's
forest.
not the correct answer. Coniferous forest was the one they're looking for. Okay, toss-up question for both teams. A star that is about to rise above a plane has an altitude of 0 degrees. What is the altitude of a star that is directly overhead? Port Huron.
90 degrees.
90 degrees is correct. And for 10 points, the bonus question, whose formula for finding the area of a triangle is stated below? Area equals square root of S times S minus A, in parentheses S minus B, and in parentheses S minus C.
Pythagoras.
Captain?
Pythagoras.
Nope, Hero's formula was the correct answer. Okay, toss-up question for both teams. What surname was shared by all of the following men? A 1944 presidential candidate, a Spanish-American war hero, an educator, a librarian. Port Huron.
Dewey.
Dewey is correct, Port Huron, and you'll pick up the bonus question for 10 points, Port Huron. Grammatically speaking, how does the last word function in this quote by Simon Cameron? An honest politician is one who, when he is bought, will stay bought. Captain, your answer, please.
Reflexive adjective.
Nope, predicative adjective. Adjective, I should say. Toss-up question for both teams. Jefferson was referring to what part of the U.S. Constitution in these following lines? It is what the people are entitled to against every government on earth. General Algonac.
The Bill of Rights.
That's correct. Algonac, you pick up the bonus question for 10 points. What is 66 2/3% of 24?
Eight.
Well, let me look here. 8. I'm sure that's not 16. Okay, toss-up question for both teams. Franz Liszt wrote all of these pieces for what instrument? The Metaphysio Waltz, the Polonaise in E, Lenegide, St. Francis of Assisi, La Campanella. Port Huron.
Piano.
Piano is right. Port Huron, for 10 points, the bonus question. What positively charged subatomic particle consisting of 2 neutrons and 2 protons is described as the nucleus of a helium atom?
Beta particle.
Beta particle.
That's incorrect. Alpha particle.
I'm sorry, we should.
Okay, the toss-up question for both teams. With the history of what country is the name King Olaf V associated? Port Huron.
Sweden.
That's incorrect, Port Huron. Algonac.
Norway.
That's correct. Algonac, you pick up the bonus try for 10 points, Algonac. A Japanese proverb says, quote, "The nail that sticks up gets hammered down." What is the American equivalent of this proverb having to do with grease?
The squeaky wheel gets the grease.
That's correct. Okay, toss-up question for 15 points for both teams. What is the name for a reading handicap that rhymes with dyslexia? Algonac?
Dyslexia.
Dyslexia, that's correct. Okay, and for the bonus 10-pointer for Algonac, what is the general name for those large parcels of land set aside by the U.S. government for exclusive use by groups of Native Americans?
Reservations.
Reservations, yep. Okay, toss-up question for both teams. What 3 continents were involved in the triangular trade of the 17... Port Huron.
Africa, North America, and Europe.
That's correct. Okay, bonus question for Port Huron.
We still get a bonus. We still
Did you
get
get the bonus question? Okay. A molecule composed of different kinds of atoms is called a what, Port Huron?
A compound? No, just compound.
Captain?
Compound.
That's correct. Okay, 10 points. We're at halftime, and we'll take a 3-minute break here.
Tony had some drinks, a few joints, and got into a fatal accident tonight. Only he doesn't know it yet. Drugs make you forget. And if you forget how risky sex can be, you could catch the AIDS virus and not know it for months, even years. AIDS, another way drugs can kill.
You may not think the gas you can save makes a difference, or the amount your whole neighborhood can save, or even your whole town. But when you see how much gas America can save every day, when we all drive just 5 miles per hour slower, it's easy to see how the little bit you can do makes a lot of difference. President Bush hopes you'll do your part. Drive smart.
Now, welcome back to the State High School District Quiz Bowl. We have Algonac and Port Huron competing, and right now Port Huron leads this match 205 to 165 for Algonac. Just a reminder, the toss-up questions are worth 15 points and the bonus questions are worth 10. And of course, the team gets a bonus question once they answer that toss-up question correctly. And we'll start with a toss-up question for both teams. Where does the Roman playwright Terence say charity begins? Port Huron.
At home.
At home is correct. And the bonus question for Port Huron. The heat of the sun is transmitted in the form of radiation. What do we call the process by which heat energy is transmitted directly through a material substance?
No, conduction.
Captain?
Conduction.
Conduction is correct. Toss-up question for both teams. In 1903, Mervyn Wesselman of Cincinnati founded this organization that provides companionship for fatherless boys. What group is it? Algonac.
Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Judge, you want to? We'll take that. Big brothers, big sisters. Toss-up, or the bonus question for Algonac. This word means to make twisting or turning movements. Spell the word writhe.
W-R-I-T-H-E.
That's correct. Toss-up question for both teams. Name the scientist who published a collection of studies called Optics in 1704. Port Huron.
Newton.
That's correct. And the bonus question for 10 points. What was the bloodiest battle in history, or was the bloodiest battle in history fought at Gettysburg in 1863, the Somme in 1916, Dunkirk in 1940, or Carthage in 146 BC? I should say, what was the bloodiest battle? Captain?
The Somme?
The Somme, that's correct, 1916. Toss-up question for both teams. The constellation Sagittarius is the archer. What is the constellation of Sagitta?
The arrow?
Algonac?
The arrow?
That's correct, the arrow. Okay, the bonus question for you, Algonac. It originally was a name given to the goddess called Diana of the Crossways because she presided over all places where three roads met. What word, meaning unimportant matters, is it? Captain?
Trivial or trivia?
Trivia is correct. Okay. Toss-up question for both teams. Is the Nestle Company manufacturers of chocolate and other food based in Switzerland? Algonac.
Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Incorrect, and I'll finish the question. Is it based in Switzerland, Belgium, the Netherlands, or the United States? Port Huron.
The United States?
That's incorrect as well, so Port Huron loses 5 points. Switzerland was the correct answer on that, teams. Okay, toss-up question for both teams. What is the next term in the series 10, 5, 15, 10, 20, 15? Port Huron.
25.
25 is correct. You'll pick up that bonus question for 10 points. Port Huron. In Spanish, it means a twisted loaf or a round cake. What is this word defined as a thin, flat, unleavened pancake prepared from cornmeal and cooked on a flat plate or iron and characteristic of Mexican cookery? Captain?
Tortilla?
Tortilla is the correct answer. All right, toss-up question for both teams. When Israel agreed not to retaliate immediately against Iraq missile attacks, the U.S. in return ordered which type of vessel? Algonac.
Patriot missiles.
That's incorrect. You'll lose 5 points, and I'll finish that. Ordered which type of vessel to make way toward Israeli waters? Port Huron.
Submarines?
That's incorrect as well. You lose 5 points. Aircraft carrier was the vessel we're looking for. All right, little question from the world of art here for both teams. Neglected during his poverty-stricken lifetime, his paintings were given their first posthumous showing in 1891. Port Huron.
Van Gogh?
Van Gogh is correct. Bonus question for 10 points, Port Huron. He settled in Tahiti in 1891. And it's an artistic question.
That's it?
Captain.
Picasso?
Incorrect. Gauguin
Gauguin.
was the correct answer. Toss-up question for both teams. Again, we're looking for the name of an artist. He produced his first music hall poster in 1891. Algonac.
Monet.
That is incorrect. And I'll call time on that question. Toulouse-Lautrec, I believe. I'm not sure how you say that. All right, toss-up question for both teams. Again, we're looking for the name of an artist. He constructed the Wainwright Building in St. Louis in 1891. Port Huron.
Frank Lloyd Wright?
That's incorrect. I'll call time on that. The correct answer was Louis Sullivan. So Port Huron loses 5 points. We go to the next toss-up question. Mean Streets, Raging Bull, The King of Comedy, Taxi Driver, and Goodfellas are all critically acclaimed movies of the last 20 years. What two Italian Americans, one a director and one an actor, collaborated on these films? Time. Martin Scorsese, and Robert De Niro were the answers we're looking for. Toss-up question for both teams. City officials in Leningrad say it is certain their city will be renamed Petrograd in the next year. However, they will not make clear which historical figure named Peter Petrograd will be named for. Who are the two possibilities? Port Huron.
Peter the Great and Stalin.
Nope, incorrect. And I'll call time on that, Algonac. The answer was St. Peter and Tsar Peter the Great. Toss-up question for both teams. Which Hall of Fame pitcher is attempting a comeback at age... Algonac. Need your answer. Okay, take 5 points away for Algonac. I'll finish the question.
Jim Palmer.
Okay, Jim Palmer is the correct answer. I was going to ask if you wanted me to finish the question. You'll pick up the bonus question, Port Huron. Last November, the National Center for Health Statistics revealed that life expectancy for blacks has declined for the 4th straight year. What is the greatest factor in this alarming trend? Captain?
Murder?
That's correct. Okay, toss-up question for both teams. Last November, he joked, quote, Mitterrand has 100 lovers, one has AIDS, but he doesn't know which one. Bush has 100 bodyguards, one is a terrorist, but he doesn't know which one. I have 100 economic advisors, one is smart, but I don't know which one. Who is this world leader? I'll call time. Mikhail Gorbachev. And he's still looking, I think, too. The toss-up question for both teams. What three-syllable term refers to the period during which the secondary sex characteristics begin to develop? And Algonac.
Puberty.
Puberty is correct, Algonac, and you pick up the bonus question for 10 points. Algonac, the otoscope is used to examine what part of a patient?
The ear.
That's correct, the ear. Okay, toss-up question for both teams. The sine of theta equals 4/5, and theta terminates in quadrant 1. Therefore, what is the value of cosine theta, C-O-S-I-N-E? Port Huron.
3/5.
3/5 is correct. Okay, the bonus question for Port Huron. What is the phase shift for the following? Y equals 4 sine, and in parentheses, 1/2 x plus 40. Captain, your answer, please.
40?
Nope, minus 80 degrees is the answer. Toss-up question for both teams. Alan Pinkerton organized and directed the United States Secret Service during what? Port Huron.
The Civil War.
The Civil War is correct. For 10 points, Port Huron, who in 1990 was ultimately responsible for the selection of the next Archbishop of Canterbury upon the retirement of the Robert Runcie? Captain.
The Queen of England?
No, it says Margaret Thatcher here.
Oh.
Margaret Thatcher. Okay, toss-up question for both teams. Santa Anna was defeated by Sam Hughes. Port Huron.
The Battle of San Jacinto.
Yep. Okay. The bonus question for Port Huron. He was a member of Parliament who advocated moderate policies toward the American colonies. Name this author of On Conciliation with the Colonies and On American Taxation. Captain, your answer, please.
Gladstone?
Edmund Burke. Toss-up question for both teams. The flame test of potassium gives off what color? Port Huron.
Blue?
Incorrect. And I'll call time on that. Violet was the correct answer. A toss-up question for both teams. Which of these countries lies at the intersection of the Tropic of Cancer and the Prime Meridian? Angola, Algeria, China, India, or Cambodia? Algonac.
Algeria.
Algeria is correct. and Algonac a chance for the 10-point bonus question. Which part of the United States did Congress abolish slavery on April 16, 1862?
All territories of the U.S.?
Incorrect. Washington, D.C. That's where they abolished it. Toss-up question for both teams. What is the name of this very well-known insect from the family Formicidae? And I'll spell that Formicidae. It is the source of formic acid. Time. I'm sorry, called time. Correct answer on that was ant. Next question for both teams. If the numbers 1 to 14 are in a hat, what is the chance of drawing a prime number in one draw? Port Huron.
1 and 6.
Incorrect. And I'll call time on that. Teams, it was 6 in 14 or 3 in 7.
Oh, that's right. 3.
Now we'll go to the next question, a toss-up question. The underground ceremonial rooms used by cliff dwellers for secret social and religious purposes are called what? Port Huron.
Catacombs?
Incorrect. Are called what? Algonac.
Pueblos.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Pueblos.
Incorrect. Okay, you lose 5 points as well. Kivas is the correct answer we're looking for. Toss-up question for both teams. Identify the Sage of Baltimore, whose formula for answering controversial letters was the reply, "Dear Sir" or "Madame, you may be right." I'll call time. H.L. Mencken was the correct answer. Toss-up question, both teams. What is the grammatical function of the word friend in the following sentence? He was the best friend I ever had. Time. Predicate noun or predicate nominative is what we were looking for. Toss-up question for both teams. Of Thomas Jefferson, Patrick Henry, John Hancock, James Madison, and Benjamin Franklin, which founding father opposed the ratification of the Port Huron?
Thomas Jefferson?
That's incorrect. And I'll finish the question, Algonac. Opposed the ratification of the Constitution because he felt it did not protect individual liberties. I'll call time on that, Algonac. Remember the phrase, "Give me liberty or give me death"? Patrick Henry was the name we were looking for. Toss-up question for both teams. The first oil well was drilled in 1859 in Pennsylvania by what man? Port Huron.
John D. Rockefeller?
Incorrect. I'll take a stab at it, Algonac. Time. Edwin Drake is what we were looking for. Okay, Port Huron loses 5 points on that one. Toss-up question for 15 points. The forcible transportation of 4,000 Acadians from Nova Scotia to Louisiana by the British in 1755 is commemorated in what poem? Time. Correct answer is Evangeline. Toss-up question for both teams. A polyphage, Polyphage, eats a variety of food. What does a hippoage eat?
All foods.
Let's see. Algonac.
All foods.
That's incorrect. And I'll call time on that, Port Huron. Horses was the correct answer on that. Just a little note, make sure I recognize you before I call on you too. All right, for both teams, all of the following have been demonstrated to result from a diet deficient in what vitamin? And these are this multiple choice. No tear secretion, growth retardation, night blindness. Algonac.
Vitamin A.
Vitamin A is correct. And you'll pick up the bonus question for 10 points. Algonac. Hey. Algonac for 10 points. The largest bay contiguous with the Canadian Shield is what?
Hudson Bay?
Hudson Bay is correct. All right, final score of 250 to 320. So Port Huron Northern, congratulations for a great match for both teams. I'm Scott Grigg. Thanks for joining us today.